come all this way. You must be dying to begin. It won't be long now, so rest in peace. I'll be coming for you soon. Oh, very soon. Your time has nearly come. Just a little farther now. Oh, roughly 6 feet or so. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I frighten you? Perhaps that was in bad spirit. Try to stay lively. Your wait is at an end. Make yourself comfortable and take one last look behind you. If knowing what's behind you will make you feel any better. As for me, I like to be surprised. Time to cross over now. So step inside my library and welcome to Ghost Stories for Grown-ups. Salutations, my adventurous friends, and welcome back to our library, where dark is divine. Let's begin with a larger-than-life edition of News from Our Dead Files with Mabel.
Hi, I'm Mabel, and this is tonight's News from the Dead Files. Welcome to a special mural-sized edition of News from the Dead Files, where today we will be exploring some dark and unusual corners of the art world. So grab a brush and an art psychology degree, and let's get fancy! In 1890, that crazy old Oscar Wilde published his only novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. I finally get to talk about this! Sorry. In the book, the picture's creator says that the reason I will not exhibit this picture is that I am afraid that I have shown in it the secret of my own soul. In the real world, artists not only put their soul into their creations, but a lot of other DNA as well. If it could be squeezed, blown, wiped, scrapped, clipped, pumped, or dripped, or in any other way collected from the human body, somebody has used it in an art installation. Let's take, for instance, New York native Vincent Castilla, who creates monochromatic paintings depicting various states of human decay with only one medium: his own blood. Oh, don't you guys know I'm blood phobic? Okay, I'm good now. I'm good. Let's continue. In 2012, Reuters reporter Andrea Brzezinski quoted the artist as stating that his first experiment with the medium was prompted by a quote-unquote need to connect with my work on the most intimate level. He also talked about experimenting with another type of bodily fluid and glitter. In 1993, our number 2 artist, Todd Alden, asked art collectors around the world to send him their feces to fill personalized tins. He claimed that scatology was a trending artistic inquiry. No offense, but I think it's a load of crap. I'm not sure that idea flew very far, though it did hit the fan in the 1960s when Italian modern artist Piero Manzoni's father told him his art was poo, though that's not the exact word he used. Any poo? Really? Any poo? Who writes this number 2? Piero collected and commercially canned 90 soft servings of his own poo and valued it as being equivalent to its weight in gold, roughly 30 grams. He even took a publicity photo of himself in the loo holding one of the scandalous goods. Ew, 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 ew! Side note, Piero's father ran a canning factory. Let that sink in a minute. Kind of makes you appreciate the FDA, doesn't it? And again, ew! If you visit the website of the prestigious Tate Gallery in England, you can see photos of proud poo owners posing with their signed and numbered cans of crap. The Tate purchased its own can for over £22,000. Even though Manzoni's creations may not be your cup of brown water, and they're certainly not mine, it made a statement about modern art and the creator's value. Sadly, Piero Manzoni would die shortly after his canning creation, suffering a heart attack in his studio at the age of 29. And just when you thought we couldn't possibly top potty art, let's take a break for a poem by popular children's author-illustrator Adam Rex. Our orator is none other than Amanda Warner, celebrity storytime lady and classic glitter expert from our sister library Above Ground. I love you, Amanda. You're so cool. This poem is from Adam's book titled Frankenstein Makes a Sandwich, published by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. It's like the Wizard of Oz when Dorothy opens the door to Munchkinland. This is so cool. Look at all the colors. I want to categorize and alphabetize them all. I'll be right back. I'm getting my note cards.
From Frankenstein Makes a Sandwich by Adam Rex. Godzilla pooped on my Honda. Don't ever go to Tokyo. I just heard on the radio that Ghidorah has taken wing to fight some sort of turtle thing. And as the monster flew away, they saw a zipper, plain as day. It seems perhaps these giant brutes are giant men in suits. I swear I'm leaving Tokyo. I watched as just a week ago, some robots crushed my mailbox flat. And only 2 days after that, a moth the size of Fuji goes and chews up all my Sunday clothes. I bought a moth ball from the store. It won't fit through the door. And just last night, what did I see? Turdzilla, where my car should be. It's not so bad. I'm sure some dupe will pay for real Godzilla poop. I'll make a sign, or better yet, I'll sell it on the internet. And when I've made enough, I'll go to any place but Tokyo.
Back to our regular programming. For the traditional collectors that don't want to wear PPE to display art, let's look at some more mainstream mediums. Ooh, no more gross stuff. Meet artist Francis Horspool. Francis was a self-taught artist from Utah that described himself as a primitive painter. One distinct feature of his creations are the painted frames that blend into the landscape. The other distinction is the fairies he claimed appeared after he finished the paintings. Wait, what? Let me take a look at this. That's right, it says fairies. The Salt Lake Tribune-Sun ran a story in 1947. The reporter Ed Bliss that started, "Francis Horsepool's paintings are haunted. He told me himself." It was a startling statement, but I could see the little old man wasn't joking. Horsepool proceeded to point out what the reporter described as a tiny, gnome-like figure with a bundle under its arm. Horsepool then says, "I didn't paint that fairy there. No artist could paint a fairy so perfect. It just appeared." In another painting of a Wells Fargo stage depot titled Riverbend, Utah in 1868, Horsepool explains that the station is supposed to be haunted by a girl that fell off a wagon and died there. This is why little faces scattered throughout the picture frequently disappear and reappear. Our final featured artist of the night is Hetty Fredrickson, a native of the Netherlands and an immigrant to British Columbia, Canada after World War II. In 1966, Hetty moved into a 14-room former boarding house with her second husband and blended family in Chilliwack, British Columbia. Shortly after moving into the home, strange experiences began to happen on an unoccupied upper floor room. Dresser drawers would fly open, an old iron bed creaked and screeched as it moved on its own, and a variety of unexplained noises were heard. Hetty then began smelling strong perfume and having nightmares where she would see an anguished woman in a flowered red dress lying on the floor of the house. Determined to catch a glimpse of the ghost, Hetty visited the active room for several nights until she finally saw a shape appear in front of the window. This visitation would be the inspiration for what she called her ghost painting. When she finished, she hung the painting next to the noisy dresser and bed, hoping that it might please the ghost. Though a nice gesture, the intent may have backfired. As time passed, Hetty noticed some subtle differences in the painting. Facial features she intentionally left vague became more defined. The expression of fear she had perceived on the ghost became more menacing, and the ghost that she had painted as female was turning into a mustached male. I have, admittedly, drawn a few mustaches on portraits and pictures. Don't tell Ghoul, he will kill me. But this was not my handiwork. Here's an image of the painting printed in a Japanese magazine featuring Hetty prior to her visit there. I doubt she drove a Honda, and if she had seen Godzilla, I'm sure she would have painted it with paint, not poop. Again, ew! Hetty turned to art experts and paranormal researchers, but none could explain the odd phenomenon. When word got out about the artistic ghosts, hundreds of visitors flocked to the house to catch a glimpse of the painting, and some even demanded that she burn the possessed art. Hetty soon became tired of the attention, as it took her time away from other projects. Not wanting to keep the painting, but also not wanting to destroy or sell it, the perfect solution presented itself when a local radio station asked Hetty for a contribution to an orphanage fundraiser. Hetty donated the ghost painting that was auctioned off to an anonymous collector. The painting disappeared, and its current whereabouts are unknown. One of Hetty's descendants has stated that the last time she saw the painting, the ghost looked old and threatening. Oh, great. As for the house, Hetty moved out of the house shortly after and sold the dwelling in the early 70s. Subsequent owners also reported ghostly encounters until the house was damaged beyond repair by fire and torn down. After a prolific career and many contributions to her community, eccentric artist Hetty Fredrickson passed away in 1994. Well, that's all for this special edition of News from the Dead Files, where the truth is stranger than fiction, and I have to get this smell out of the room now. Oh! Okay, speaking of art, I'm sure Ghoul has something really good for you tonight. Something dramatic with a little bit of flair and... Oh no, he did the poop thing, didn't he?
Well, wasn't that interesting? And yes, Mabel, I believe you are correct. But first, let's take a bathroom break. And please give a 21 paintbrush salute to tonight's featured reader. Please welcome Phoebe Halleck, reading a short story entitled Still Life by Ken Lily Petz from the story anthology Bloodlight. Aftertaste. Quiet, please.
Still Life by Ken Lily Petz. When I found the apple, I dreamed that my oil painting would be perfect. If you cleared your mind and thought of the world's most perfect and delicious apple, you would be picturing the very piece of fruit that I had chosen. I hoped that with my skills as a painter, I could produce a composition that would capture the very essence of perfect appliness. Countless line drawings were created before I even dared to attempt to work on canvas. Then I found myself second-guessing the quality of my art supplies, and there were several trips back and forth to Michael's before I felt okay. The indecision over whether I should go with my usual turpentine-diluted oil paint for the first layer, or just skip ahead by using acrylic, caused a panic attack so severe that I had to walk away from my subject, make a doctor's appointment, and renew a prescription for lorazepam. The second layer took forever before it was done. The first layer had dissolved beneath, allowing both layers to come to life in terms of tone and color. Yet, despite the fact I was getting closer to completion, each brushstroke I made was an agony of self-doubt. Every scrape with the palette knife was like a palette knife in my heart. When the painting was finished, it looked like it could have been produced by one of the Dutch masters. Despite how it would never scream perfect appliness or look good enough to eat, it was without a question a faultless rendering of the subject, an apple that had rotted and dried up. I placed the artwork on the wall behind its subject and felt satisfied. Then I walked past the seated skeleton to look at my last painting. I was sure that Still Life with Apple had turned out just as well as a nude on a chair.
How delightful. Oh, the suffering for artistic expression. Let's suffer along a little bit farther as we welcome Library Ghoul, who has written an original work based on this evening's stories.
Oh, I knew it. Plug your nose, folks.
The Arts, Some Farts, and Large Cans of Poo. An original movement by LG. The beauty of art is in the eye of the beholder, but large cans of poop allow aromas to smolder. Who would have thought to put poop in a can? It must have been somebody's number 2 plan. Now I've seen art made of stone, wood, and clay, but making art out of dookie is just not okay. Brushing paint on a canvas, a skill all its own, and paintings that belong in the Twilight Zone. Pictures with eyes that follow you around, paintings of faces you'd swear made a sound. From mysterious paintings where objects disappear, to unpainted fairies that fill you with fear. Weirdness abounds in the world of the arts. Not everyone has vision to bottle their farts. Creating art on the toilet sounds kinda cheeky, but it's the silent arts that come on so sneaky. Paintings on paper with ink made of blood. Dracula wouldn't do that, come on now, bud. Finally, I wonder what this world is coming to, and what Sotheby's would get for a large can of poo. Wait, what? 75,000? I gotta go.
Oh, I'm so glad you made it to the end. But alas, all good things, along with all the bad things, must come to an end. But until next time, don't forget to be nice to spiders. Have tea with the ghost in the attic. And don't forget to feed the monster under your bed. Good night.